Hey everybody, here is the conclusion of day 8 and my thoughts on Missouri. It was an amazing time to spend with Thad and Laura. Highlights include going to the Truman House and actually going inside. I didn't realize that she had paid for all three of us, or she managed to get passes for all three of us to go into the house itself. So, and the highlight of that was to actually see the man's coat and hat that he was known for. This brown coat, or tan coat, I should say, and a matching tan hat, and it was like that was something he physically wore. And so, anyone who knows me knows I'm a historian, an avid historian, and I love to see, taste, touch history. And wow, to see something that belonged to him was just amazing. That house was amazing. I saw some cardinals outside the house, and that was amazing because they kind of made me laugh because my ex-wife didn't like cardinals. She absolutely hated cardinals. She thought they were an evil-looking bird, and I'd always tell her, it's just a red version of a blue jay, right? It's almost the same bird, but you love blue jays, but you don't like you don't like cardinals just because the color red. Extraordinary human being, really. He was, like Thad had pointed out, he represented the quintessential nuclear family, having been the man who brought us into the nuclear age. He wasn't without his faults. He was actually in his upbringing, he was racist by nature, being a Southerner, and he had to overcome that racism by virtue of his just being who he was, being an honest human being. And after getting heart-wrenching reports about African American soldiers just being abused, just for serving their country, like there was many examples of this happening, but one that really stood out to him was this soldier was beaten so bad that he was blinded. I mean, they took his eyesight just because of the rampant racism, and he had to, as the commander-in-chief, he had to put a stop to that. It's like, if he can order these men to go to war and to fight and die for their country, then he had better, do something about it. So he had a heart change, and he became a better person for it. And he basically he just saw that racism had no place in the American ideals, and it wasn't right according to our American ideals. And the thing is, like, as great of a man as he was, if he could have a heart change, you and I can too. He was known for being a very humble human being. He just wanted to go to life back to normal after he left the White House. He kind of expected that and didn't realize that he was a novelty in his town because he was a president, and everyone flocked to come see him. They had to put up a wrought iron gate to keep people out of his house. Said that they even caught a couple ladies inside the house rummaging through the house looking for souvenirs they could take. He just wanted to be humble. He always referred to himself in the third person. He always said, the president does this, the president does that, and he always kind of separated himself as the man from the position. And, it takes a lot of respect. So, I spent an amazing day with Thad and Laura. First, it started out with me getting up an hour later than I wanted to, but oh well. I changed their oil, and then we had lunch, and we just spent the day doing Truman stuff, right? We went to the Truman Library after we went to the house, and the house was after we went to the visitor center where we sat in this video, and learned a lot about him, and then that's where she got the passes for us to go into the Truman House. Outside the Truman House, there was this tour guide, had a couple mules attached to an old style wagon. Come to find out, this was so funny, come to find out that he is a Cunningham. And back in the old country, the Cunninghams and the Kennedys did not like each other. In fact, they warred with each other. They killed each other. And I said, well, I'm going to do something that's really going to make both of our ancestors roll in their graves. And I put up my hand and I shook his hand. I said, nice to meet you, Mr. Cunningham. And he was like, nice to meet you, Mr. Kennedy. Well, he didn't say that, but that was kind of the sentiment. All right. He's like, so true. We shouldn't be bitter enemies. We can be friends. And so we shook hands. I went to go scratch the nose. Just before that, I went to go scratch the nose of one of the mules, and I had an electric shock. I shocked the crap out of that mule, and both mules backed up. They didn't want to have anything to do with me, so they kept their distance from me, and I was like, oops, sorry. But yeah, it was an amazing day, an incredible day, and we spent so much time together that, truth be told, I mean, if you see the other videos, I didn't leave their house until like 7:30, and I went to Walmart to get more water for my CPAP, and that took forever. I mean, I've never seen a Walmart so busy in my life, probably because it's, the night before Easter and all that, but, and then I went through a drive-through, and before you know it, like, I didn't leave Independence until, gosh, it had to have been at least 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. And so I missed the Jesse James house. Didn't even go see it because it was too dark. So I guess it means I have to come back to Missouri at some point. So if I want to go see the Jesse James house, so maybe I'll do that. So it was an incredible day, an amazing day. And it was a great opportunity to go see the other side of President Truman. I always thought he was a great man. He's definitely one of my favorite presidents of the 20th century for sure. Got to go to his grave, and we did end up going to the Truman Museum, and I got to pay my respects to him, his wife, and when you're facing their graves, right behind him is the grave marker for his daughter and his son-in-law. So I got to pay respects to the whole family, and I was, reading everything that's going on there, and that's on there, the inscriptions that's on their grave markers there. And then I said, "Rest well, Mr. President." Walked over to an eternal flame. They have an eternal flame there around the corner from there, and it's an American Legion dedication. I guess it was like the 75th anniversary of the American Legion. He was somehow affiliated with them. Either he was a member of the American Legion or he had contributed to their cause or something. I don't know. It was a dedication to him. The office that he held, he had an office that's where he conducted his business. He conducted his business away from his house, and but when he started to get a little too old for the brisk walks that he was known for doing, then he started receiving guests at the home. It said that when the Nixons were there to visit with him, the media would be outside, journalists would be outside, they would time the visits, and apparently the Nixons were there for like 29 minutes. So all in all, it was an amazing time. And I got here to Grand Island, Nebraska, just after 1 a.m. Or yeah, it was about 10 minutes after 1, I believe. And it's been kind of an exhausting trip, but well worth it. Nothing really to report about the drive here. I thought it was going to be like 7 hours, but it was only like 4.5. So yay me, I didn't have to be on the road as long as I expected originally. So it's been an amazing journey, and I'm a little sad that it's going to be coming to an end here soon, because I mean, like, I'm more than halfway through the journey right now. Because when you think about it, it's Nebraska today, it's Wyoming tomorrow, it's Oregon, Idaho the next day, and then the day after that, I'm home. So the sightseeing is all but done, and it's just a matter of just doing the driving. And there's one more thing on the Wyoming-Idaho border that I want to see, that I kind of caught a glimpse of when I came out to Kentucky, and that there was this huge Lincoln bust right there at the border going into Idaho, and I kind of want to check that out because I don't know what it was about. So, I mean, other than that, that's probably about the last of it. So I'm going to conclude this video. I'm still riding on a high from, gosh, I saw President Truman's personal effects, and I could have reached out and touched it, but I didn't, because that would have been, well, they say it would have been wrong. Not for me, but historians who keep up the house, who keep everything pristine, and keep everything that's, as it was. There was actually some plants in the dining room, that the plants that are in the dining room, every time those house plants, get in bad shape, they'll take a shoot off of it and they'll replant it. So those plants are multiple generations of the original plants that Bess Truman had in the dining room, which blew me away. So, they say plants don't live forever, but, like us human beings, we have offspring, and they took shoots off of the original house plants to perpetuate them, to keep them going. And so in that sense, these plants now have offspring, and they're of the original plant that belonged in that house. So it's been an amazing adventure, and I'm so grateful that I get to share it with all of you who are watching. So thank you to all of you who have been keeping tabs on my journey, and encouraging me along the way, and just checking in to see my progress, to see how I'm doing. It's been great, and this journey has been so positive for me. I just cannot put it into words. That I definitely am a changed man. I'm a different man from what I was last year, for sure. So maybe going to Kentucky wasn't a bad thing after all. I'm pretty sure God had a plan, and he executed it, and I don't know what the future holds for me back home in Oregon, but it is my aim, it is my hope to have a better, positive future, and to be a better, positive man going forward here on out for the remainder of my days. So that's pretty cool. That's an amazing epiphany to have when you're 47, almost turning 48 years old. I'm going to end this now. It's been an amazing journey. I've been loving this epic adventure. So be good to yourselves, be good to each other. Do take care. And it seems fitting to say happy trails, because I'm on what was the Oregon Trail, what was the trail that blazed Western America, right? So happy trails to you all, and I will talk to you later. All right, bye.